Hello and welcome to Opening Bars. See You Again was developed from within a writing session between DJ Frank E. and Charlie Puth, where their publishing company wanted them to create a song to pay tribute to the late Paul Walker for the film Furious 7. The session result was well received by the filmmakers Universal Pictures and Atlantic, and the track was further commissioned to include rapped verses by Khalifa, based on the subject of family. In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, Charlie recalled, "It just seemed to occur from out of nowhere, and basically, 10 minutes later, Justin and I wrote it, we sent it off, and I thought we'd never hear about it again." The most interesting part of the Wikipedia entry, however, is a statement that the song then went through an extensive note-giving and production process. I would love to know what notes and other alterations were added, deleted, or otherwise considered. Let's take a look at what they ended up with first, and then maybe consider some alternatives later. Here we're using the treble, G clef, for both the right hand and the left hand. We have a key signature of 2 flats, so that indicates either B flat major or G minor, and we see a notated 4/4 common time. It's interesting that some online stores insist that this piece is in G minor, but even though the initial chord is based on G minor, the plagal 4/1 cadence at the end of this phrase makes it feel otherwise. And as an aside, that cadence is often used in hymns for the final Amen. Anyway, in fact, nowhere in the song is the final chord at the end of a line a G minor. It's always B flat, or sometimes an F major. So there's always this lovely transition, beginning with the relative minor to the major in the verses and chorus, but almost always returning to a B flat. Most online versions too are simplified to some degree, but I've tried to notate everything I personally hear in the original, some of which is obscured by heavy pedaling in the introduction. So that first chord is a G minor 7, with the note C5, the 11th, added for color, and could be considered an appoggiatura. It moves straight away to the B flat, cadencing from the 4 E flat to 1 B flat, with a quick stopover on a full F major triad back to G minor, which feels like a deceptive cadence. And the pattern is repeated again to the tonic B flat. One thing I really like about this, and that's the ever so subtle interior melody, the B flat pedal tone, moving down a semitone and back up, and then down a minor third and back up. Let's listen to that as a complete phrase. There are a lot of non-essential notes here, mostly appearing as melodic inventions. The ones we normally talk about in opening bars are appoggiaturas, escape tones, neighboring tones, or passing tones, examples of which we see here. Let's look at the rhythm. The left hand provides the primary rhythmic motif, a strong beat 1 with a syncopation on the and of 2. The last beat of measure 2, which links the 2-bar measures together, is directly on the weak beat 4. Again, partially because of the placement, it feels a tiny bit like a mini cadence. The right hand, as we've noted, has the same melodic and rhythmic pattern repeated 3 times. Now that you know all of the notes, let's look at some technique. There's a lot of hand movement here if you use this arrangement, which makes it awkward to play. If you can reach a tenth in your left hand, I would recommend doing that. The 5-chord stretch, in particular, will need some attention. Create an exercise to play a G minor scale in tenths, with your left hand in broken format, very, very slowly, like this. You'll quickly feel that not all of them are comfortable. You may need to shift your hand back and forth slightly, or stretch just a tiny bit farther to reach some of them. Playing intervals with your left hand that begin on a white note and end on a black note are far easier to reach than a white note to a white note, or a black note to a white note. Try it too in G major in tenths. There are a couple of things I don't like about this arrangement. In general, I'm really against strict repetition, for non-minimalist pop music anyway. In this case, 3 times in a row of the topmost melody I find far too redundant. I think we should alter at least one of them. Perhaps I would have left out one full 16th note motif. Or maybe even just one single note out of that motif. Makes a big difference, right? The other thing I don't like is that it's awkward to play. It really isn't laid out very well for the hands, and sometimes there are too many notes. Maybe the texture could have also been thinned out a little bit, and the parallel fifths made a little more prominent. I'll play it both ways now, the original and with my thinned out variation. What do you think? Leave a comment if you wish. I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. Remember, don't just play notes. Make music. Until next time, thanks for listening.